Here's Josh Allen after the game, who did his press conference with Mitch Morse with him, which was that's not usual for NFL quarterbacks. Here's Allen talking about the loss, and if he's confident they can, they're groping in the dark for that switch that they're going to flip. Can they turn it around with 7 games left? Here he is.
It sucks. Shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. It's a lot of bad football. Yeah, I'm still confident, but it's no secret the clock's ticking, Got to have some urgency now.
What leaves you still confident in the offense after it's been so many weeks of kind of the same story here?
Because we've done it before.
See, this gets back to the fundamental problem. They think they're just going to snap their fingers and it's going to be 2020. Wow. We've done it before. Not this team, not this year. Every year is different. Some of the players are the same, coaches are the same, uniforms are the same, but there's enough change. And the key was Daboll leaving. They haven't been the same since Daboll got the job with the Giants. Not that things are going swimmingly for him. Maybe he'll be available to come back and be the offensive coordinator or the head coach after the season. But you can't just say, I'm confident because I've done it before, right? It's like saying if you're in school, like if you're in school and like you're a senior and you're getting Fs, well, why are you confident you're suddenly going to get A's? Because when I was in 8th grade, I used to get A's. At some point, the past is not an indicator of what's going to happen going forward. But the other side of it too, Myles, is what else is he going to say? We're not confident. I know that this is just, I don't know what to do. I think that's the truth. For Josh Allen, for Ken Dorsey, for Sean McDermott, for anyone with that team right now, what do you need to do? I think the answer is we don't know, because if we did, we would have done it by now.
Yes. I mean, Josh Allen has said kind of a version of that over the course of the season, right? If we had the answers, we would have done it by now. And that's the problem at this point. They clearly don't have the answers, or they have not come up with any kind of real good answers in order to make things right. I mean, Sean McDermott did say they can't play another game without having some very hard conversations first. So that's something that they've got to do today, basically, because Wednesday, like we said, it's a short week. You got to get your ass back on that practice field, and you better get ready for those New York Jets, because that's not an easy defense to solve. We saw it on opening night, right? Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, and lo and behold, the Bills still lose. So this is something that the Bills have to take care of now, right? And, I don't know if that just means that Josh Allen can't throw it late and outside. That's one thing you can do to not have so many freaking turnovers. Don't make bad decisions as a quarterback, but also just as a unit, you have to be able to have the tough conversations and look yourself in the mirror and say, this is on me. How do I improve? And I don't mean that just for Josh Allen. I mean that for Sean McDermott, Ken Dorsey, special teams coordinator, whoever you want to talk about, right? Because Sean McDermott doesn't necessarily just have to look himself in the mirror for the 12 men. It's also the zero blitz that leads to the pass interference, because you've already knocked the team out of field goal range. And why exactly do you need to do that again? Well, they're showing pressure on that play. Russell Wilson just lobs it up there for, I think it was Jerry Jeudy, right? I'm thinking, well, they're going to back off of this. They already did this. They don't need to do this again, but they're showing pressure because they're going to back off, and they didn't back off. And what happens? Well, you play in gauge 8. All the quarterback's got to do is yak that thing up there. And then you get a defensive pass interference call, and you get 3 flags on the field. I mean, this is not something that they should have done. If Russell Wilson lays it up even further, it's a touchdown, but he didn't. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things that the Bills have very little time to improve. But that right there is something you can directly blame Sean McDermott for, because he now is the defensive play caller because, well, Leslie Frazier, whatever happened there.
Hey, this is shades of what happened 3 weeks ago in Minnesota right before halftime. I hadn't thought of that until just now. The Steve Wilkes all-out blitz when there was no reason. There was no reason for it. So when you do that, and did Russell Wilson throw a great ball? Hell no. It should have been a touchdown. which completely changes the last minute of the game because the Bills get the ball back at that point, and who knows what they do. But one of the things that can happen in a situation like that, when a guy goes deep, the ball's underthrown, and he stops to catch it, what happens? We see it all the time. The defensive back who's been burned and who is saying in his own head, oh, bleep, oh, bleep, oh, bleep, oh, bleep, he runs into the guy. Yep. And I wasn't sure they were going to throw the flag, but 2 flags came in. That's one of those let them play moments. It's one of those let them play. First quarter, we call it. Fourth quarter, we're in Buffalo. We kind of like to get out of here alive. Yeah, it's just a little normal jostling, but he wiped him out. You couldn't not call that. But you're right. Why in the world are you calling that blitz? It already worked once. Why are you doing it again? They are out of field goal range. Let him gain 5 yards and try a 57-yarder. Guy ain't going to make a 57-yarder. Let him try it. But you go all eggs in the basket and you set up the game-winning field goal that should have been missed, but for the fact that 12 guys were on the field. One last point. Courtney's only politely told me to break. She hasn't said break. I mean, I know it's time to go when she just says break. Not break next or take a break when you can. When she just says break, I know I'm in trouble. Let me just point this out. Because all of these things we've seen from the Bills, I go back to the beginning of the season. We saw them Monday Night Football. It didn't go well. They win 3 in a row, not in prime time. They were dominant. 1 o'clock Eastern. Dominant. Blew out the Raiders, blew out the Commanders, blew out the Dolphins in a 1 o'clock Eastern game. Mm-hmm. And then ever since then, except for the loss to the Patriots, they have been in the spotlight. In London, they lost to the Jaguars. It was sluggish. It was ugly. It was pathetic. Yeah. That Giants game that they won felt like a loss. Should have lost that game. Then, okay, they lose to the Patriots, but that was tucked into the 1 o'clock window. Buccaneers, Thursday night, ugly, sluggish. Somehow they won. Bengals, Sunday night, lost that one. Last night, lost that one. They continue to be in the spotlight, Miles. This week, 4:25 p.m. Eastern, big platform game against the Jets at home. At the Eagles, Thanksgiving weekend, Sunday, 4:25 Eastern. Then they get their bye. Who knows what happens during that bye if they lose the next 2. At the Chiefs, out of the bye. The Cowboys, after that. The Saturday night Peacock game against the Chargers in L.A. 2 days before Christmas. And then finally, they get out of the spotlight for Week 17 when they have a return match against the Patriots. And they're 5-5. Like, if they become that team, because I think the 2001 Patriots were around 5-5 or 6-5 when they slipped it into overdrive. If the Bills pull this off, it's going to be the most impressive late season we found our groove run ever when you consider the games still to come. Last night was a must-win simply because so many of these games coming up are a likely loss.
There's no margin for error. Like I said earlier, I mean, it is just you cannot play more games like that and expect to make the playoffs. You can't. Because, look, the Philadelphia Eagles, you turn the ball over 4 times, it's not going to be like that. I don't know what's going to happen against Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills play the Chiefs very, very well. So who knows what that's going to look like. But the Chiefs are another team with as good as that defense has been so far this year that if you turn the ball over like that against them, it's probably not going to go very well for you. Because eventually you got to believe Patrick Mahomes is going to figure some stuff out. And it looks like, we'll see what happens next week against the Eagles on Monday night. But like that's another game where it's like, I don't know. Chargers, I don't necessarily worry about that, right? Who knows what the Patriots are going to look like. So those are a couple wins, that you can have. But also, I guess if they're in a national spotlight and Josh Allen's playing another elite quarterback, like, can I really just dismiss the Chargers, even though the Chargers pass defense and defense kind of in general is not very good? I don't know. So it's not looking great right now. Cowboys game especially, that just is one where it's like, man, yeah, if you turn the ball over against them, they're going to take advantage of it. I don't know, man. This is dark times maybe coming for the Buffalo Bills. That storm cloud above their heads, that's getting darker. And it's not just the weather in Buffalo.
There are 11 teams in the AFC right now who are at 500 or better. 11. Mm-hmm. The Bills are 5-5. I think it's going to take 10 wins to get in. We're still kind of getting our feet wet with what it takes to get in with a 17-game season. We had a pretty good idea of what it took with 16, like 10, but sometimes 10 wouldn't get you in. 11, one time 11 didn't get the Patriots in. 10 or 11 this year. I agree, Miles, and that's 5-2 through those games we just reviewed for the Bills. 5-2. I'm betting the under on 5-2 for the Bills based on what we've seen. Unless something dramatic happens in this 5 days between now and the Jets game, I'm betting the under on 5-2. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.